me as I try to take this pale makeup into something a little bit more flattering. The products that I have used so far are the Kiehl's Micro Blur Skin Perfector, and it's given me a little bit of issues with texture. So this wouldn't be my number one recommendation for a blurring product. I think you could get a lot more satisfaction from the L'Oreal Miracle Blur or from Charlotte Tilbury and her Magic Serum Crystal Elixir. Those products don't seem to kind of pill on the skin and give you, an unfortunate layer of texture. I then went in with this NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum in the color Light, which, given the color of my ear and my neck, might be a little bit pale, but you take what you can get with this product because it's so hot on TikTok and in the streets that you really can't get your hands on every color, and maybe not the best color, although it does give brightness in the center of the face. I also added this hydrating solid cheek tint that you can use on cheeks and lips from our friends at Pixi, the On The Glow blush in the color Fleur. So, I think I'm looking healthy. And I went over it with this corrective yellow powder from e.l.f. But it maybe isn't as saturated or glam, and I feel the need to restore what I like to call human color because we did not contour and we did not, this isn't an going out glam look. This is more of a playing law enforcement or, someone who works in the medical field. It's not necessarily something that's going to take you to a party or to evening. The holidays are upon us, and you can afford to look cuter than this. This is cute, but this is the Call Me Maple contour stick from Wet n Wild. I have one that is actually already open. I understand that this product is hard to get these days, but if we just go in with this, oh, I think that's too bright. You know, just very conservatively on the cheekbone, right? On the cheekbone, near the hairline. It's not super dark, but it's dark enough. And then on the sides of the nose, under the nose, and then creating a line across the nose. That might be enough to kind of give us back some warmth and structure, and then taking it from the bottom of the ear along the jawline, bottom of the ear along the jawline, right? These little lines here to give the chin, the center of the chin, more prominence, right? We're highlight, we're not contoured yet. We've just added this contour product. Some people would say you could start your contour in the middle of your nose bridge, but for, the sake of trying it, let's take it all the way up to the brow, concentrating on creating a thin structure, right? We highlight the sides of our nose, the center of our nose, but now we've added this conservatively colored contour stick. And let's use our silicone sponge to rub it in. But, it's been a great week. We got a couple of paid days off here at home, to do different things. And we'll just blend this up toward the hairline. Always blend your contour up. We have to be at work tomorrow, so I feel a little naughty right now, messing around and going live on YouTube. But, I did miss talking to you about my beauty experiments, and I, was fortunate enough to have my makeup done by the professionals at work, and they use these really beautiful VisArt palettes on my eyes and on my cheeks, and the makeup artist actually really did recommend these products to me. And, you know, surprise, surprise, once you appear on a call sheet, either for a modeling gig or for a television or film project, you can take that call sheet with your name on it to professional makeup stores like Namies or Friends, etc. And, you know, you qualify to get a discount on real professional makeup, right? We talk about high-end brands at Sephora. We talk about drugstore brands that are available at drugstores and at Ulta, but, you know, professional makeup brands are a whole other kind of ball game and a kind of area where you can play and learn. You know, I told her that I had heard very good things about Final Seal by Ben Nye. I have some Ben Nye banana powder and I have a Ben Nye eye pencil that I quite like, but I've never, you know, I've never really have a lot of makeup, but I'm always interested in what professionals use because, you know, I have to tell you, when cameras are rolling and you've got like 100 or 150 people staring at you and looking at your image under studio lights, which is totally different than, you know, what I might have here, which is like ring light 1, ring light 2. In a professional environment, the dimension of your face, you know, you don't get to kind of like do unprofessional looking makeup like you might do on your own. You don't get to like drizzle a lot of like highlighter and shimmer and all that stuff on your face. Like your makeup is very matte. It's not particularly heavy depending on what your face looks like, but it's a revelation how, you know, your basic beat, right? Right now we're enhancing a basic beat, how it might be enhanced by working professionals. And, you know, I'm always like eager to learn things and, you know, I always want to look good. So, you know, the whole notion of this series is to kind of get into the makeup kit, see what's going on, look at our, you know, look at our face, but also look at what we can have access to make things as good as they can be. So I just want to, you know, kind of share my delight in having gone through that this week. So in as much as we put this cream product on to contour, right? Checking back on the color of our ear, the color of our neck, right? We've used this maple color to introduce some, you know, contour and some shadow back into our face. Then we're gonna go in with this powder, the medium palette from LA Colors, and just use our UR Glam contouring brush. Get this on the corner of this brush and then go over our cheek contour, thinking about the top of our ear and the middle of our ear, right? Trying to build a shape on that cheekbone, going over that Pixi hydrating on the glow blush, but marrying contour powder into those products. So creating a layer where we're enhancing that cheekbone structure, right, with powder, and in that way setting it, going over the forehead contour with powder to set it so it doesn't, you know, move around, going over that corner of the nose, keeping that skinny pale line in the middle, but going over it with a powder to hopefully set it in place before we set the rest of our face with powder. Now, we don't want to pile a lot of brown on the nose. We just want to use it strategically to create shadows and shape, to restore some color, but also enhance the structure. I don't have the strongest chin, and we've been losing a couple of pounds, but we still have a bit of a double chin. So, you know, we can use powder and lighting to correct what might be less than ideal. That's the theory. You know, thinking about our lids, we did get a little bit of corrective yellow powder on our lids, but we can also use the same contour brush, right? There's the crease of our eye. We have somewhat of a hooded eye, not completely, but we have what's called the orbital bone, which is above where our crease is. So I think we can just work this contour powder across that orbital bone, a little bit higher than our natural crease, arcing out toward the end of our brow, right? Other side. You know, sometimes you can just think about conceptually the makeup that you've learned about, right? This line of contour, kissing that line of contour that goes down the nose, right? Creating some visual and color unity and strengthening what we would like to do in raising the crease of our eye as we think about building a new look to our eyelid with eyeshadow. You know, that's contour powder one. You know, we can also think about this You Are Glam powder that matches this brush, right? Was that contour too pale? Was it too warm or cool? Well, you know, we can go and hit it again with this other contour powder, right? We're not headed anywhere except to the gym. So we can afford to do some experimenting and really make the colors show, right? Think about the warmth and the paleness. Think about what we're trying to do to shrink the forehead, right? And kind of enhance the brightness we've created in the center of the face. And contour the nose. Shorten the nose, lift the tip. How's that? You know, it was an extraordinarily good week at work. One of the other things that I said that I might try today are these cushion bronzers from the Creme Shop. The lightest shade is Toasty 1. And we've just cut this cushion sponge so that it'll fit in this little palette, but I think we've played with this one time before. And it does have a bit of a mirror inside, but you know, let's see if we can dip into it and enhance what we're doing on our cheek. It does have a nice kind of depth to it, right? That as a cushion product, it does give you a payoff that is more bronzed than the shadowy color of contour powder, right? And it has a toasty kind of almond brown color that we quite like. You know, I'm not sure that this is the greatest applicator in the world, but you know, look, we're just trying to look at the color, get it on our face. We're not trying to do this right before we're going to work. Lord knows, you know, the worst thing in the world is to mess up your makeup and have to do it, you know, again from scratch or erase it. We don't want to do that. Taking it into that orbital bone area, you know, and this is kind of taking us beyond our comfort zone, right? I tend to like a natural beat. I do a lot of law enforcement and nurse roles in my job, but sometimes it's nice to let loose and do something a little bit more saturated, a little bit more there. That's entirely too bright. But in any case, how are you? How's everything where you are? You know, we had learned a new technique for eyeshadow from a gentleman that works at Sephora, and you know, it's still a mind boggler, and it's still maybe not something that I'm entirely comfortable with, but I think it's a worthy experiment. Here's this Seasonless Staples Laura Geller palette again. And what's nice is that it has mattes and shimmers, but it's this neutral palette that kind of reminds you of maybe, some of the recent efforts by Tati Westbrook. Certainly not as colorful as some of the things that our friend Jeffree Star gets into. You know, but we're just trying to take it into a kind of like professional, if not natural, right? What we started with was natural, but it didn't necessarily look all that made up, right? So, looking at our lids, looking at this palette, we've built something into our orbital bone. And what this gentleman said to do was to take a dark pencil, and we're loving this Marc Jacobs blacker eyeliner, and just messily put it at the outer corner. I might turn this terrible light on. Is that just terrible? Probably. But in any case, just get it on the outer part of the lid. Doesn't have to be super neat because you're going to use an eyeliner brush to smudge it, right? But let's go for it. Let's imagine that we're doing what we refuse to do, which is like go out to a concert or a movie theater, a night on the town where you really want your makeup to show, right? Like I might end up going out at some point, but I'm not really like trying to push it at this point, right? Temperatures are getting colder. People are wanting to huddle together and shut windows and doors. I shut my window in my bedroom for the first time this season, but that's not necessarily the best thing for, COVID-19 and COVID health, right? You want to bear in mind that, enclosed spaces and kind of being inside, it only increases risk, right? And if it's not something that's necessary, like work or groceries, just using this angled brush, right? Sort of precise to just smudge this inner corner flick and this outer corner eyeliner, right? We've learned that we don't need a huge wing, right? You think about Marilyn Monroe. Her liner, both upper and lower, kind of suggested an eyelash. And it wasn't like to have some big crazy dark line all the way across her, the outside of her eye. It was really just to look glamorous and stylized. I won't say natural, but made up in a way that's not just like drawing crazy graphic lines all over your face, right? Just a little bit of a wing, maybe the width of your actual brush is enough to bring the drama. And once you've established that drama, put a little drama on the inside corner, and maybe that's enough, right? You're gonna do the same thing conceptually. Take that gel, right? Press it into the places where you placed it. Not all that blending and rubbing around, but really thinking about it more in terms of stamping, right? So taking that color, stamping a wing at the outer corner, and smudging what you laid down from the actual eyeliner and using that as a base, right? It suggests a thicker lash line, right? Already you've increased the glamour. Already you've added something more than you started with. And that's enough, right? And you can get into your palette and use color and shimmer to enhance what you have done. So from here, the suggestion is to, we could be terrible and just use the same brush, right? The darkest color in this palette is this kind of rust matte color, and I think we can use this brush, stamp into this, and use that powder shadow to stamp over our eyeliner, right? So to take it from a black to this kind of dark rust color, but also use the shadow to set our liner. So hopefully it will not go adrift. In the real world, you would actually probably add a setting spray at the end of your makeup. But the theory is that, you know, properly mixing gel, cream, products with a powder on top will hopefully set it and lock it in place, right? We can also use that same brush to kind of stamp the same color on maybe the outer third of the lash line, and then do the same business on the other side, right? Get into that product and then stamp over our black eyeliner with this very dark rust color, right? So we're lifting our liner color out of black and into a dark rust, right? Giving us some depth at the lash line. And as a hooded eye person, right, just putting that dark color along the lash line gives us that wing, a kiss of a wing, that darkness in the lash line, making it look thicker and more dramatic. And then we have a little bit of an inner corner flick so that from the side, it looks elegant, it looks enhanced. It's dark, but without being black, right? It's enough darkness, but not too much, right? Not too much. If you're in a professional environment, if you're in an office, it's enough without being too much, right? Then we can take another brush, something fluffy but dense, and take a dark color that is not that rust, right? The next darkest color, which, I mean, this is a matte color, but let's go for, there seems to be like glitters and shimmers. So let's take this color here that is dark, but not the darkest. And we're gonna build an outer V on our lid, right? The thing I have to discipline myself about is looking down into the mirror and not taking color above the lid, right? So stamp it on the outer V, stamp on the outer V. Try not to disturb your liner, but you're building color over it, right? Outer V. Other side. Look down in your mirror, stamp on your outer V, a little bit more, outer V. And if you get it into your lashes, no problem. Theoretically, you're going to put on mascara later, even if you don't, because you're just going to the gym. But we're just trying to practice this protocol of dark liner, dark shadow over liner, outer corner, right? Trying to be disciplined and keep it on the lid itself, not creeping up toward that crease that we started to build with our contour shades. But then you take another brush. Sometimes the brushes are cheap, sometimes they're expensive, and take a bright shimmer. Let's work with this kind of gold color here. Get it on your brush, and same thing, you're going to want to stamp it on the inner corner, right? The inner corner, the inner 2/3 of your eye, building it over the inner corner of the lid until it kisses that outer corner V, right? The idea is to bring light into that hooded inner corner so that especially when you blink, it's a nice bright surprise. Other side, look down into your mirror, stamp on the inner 2/3, stamp on the inner 2/3. You know, sometimes I get frustrated with some of the cheaper brushes I have. I'm happy to be using them, but I don't think that they, you know, have the stiffness and precision that, you know, we're trying to build with this kind of map that we have in our head. And if things aren't perfect, that's okay. Just as long as we're in a place of, you know, our inner corner is bright. Perhaps we can use the same brush and pinch it to bring some of the same liner on the outer, on the inner 2/3 of the lower lid, right? To give us that inner corner light. Let me turn off this crazy light. That's not satisfying. Maybe we should turn up this light. Look at that. We certainly have shadow on, but if we want something that's a little bit darker along the lash line, we could add a liquid, or we could add, here's a brown eyeliner from a company called Jessie's Girl. Dark brown eyeliner. Let's see what this does. Given the tones of our rust and then our black, let's see if we can add a little bit of a sharp line on top in brown, right? Go over that inner corner flick. Same thing on the other side. Go over that outer corner flick and just restore some of the definition that our shadow took away, right? You want to create some weight and strength along that lash line. It looks more elegant than it did when it had nothing. It looks brighter on that inner third. This may not be the world's greatest pencil. It did only cost us $1. But you know, these are our experiments. We're trying to get into it, see what we can do, right? And then maybe use a similarly brown lip pencil if we can find one. So many products, but where is the one that we need? You know, we did want to use this brow glue from NYX, but I don't know if we want to use it tonight. I think that we want to just get a lip liner happening and then maybe put on some sort of lip. Here's another Kohl from NYC. Let's see if we can go over our eyeliner with this, and maybe it'll be a little bit less of a dry product, right? Sometimes Kohl can be kind of messy. So being very careful to stroke over our earlier work near the lash line. You know, Kohl can be a little bit scary, especially in the warmer months, if it migrates. You want the depth, and certainly it glides on in a very pleasant fashion. You want to not take away from your shadow, but just make sure the strength of that upper lash line is there. So I think that was cool. If we can find a lip liner, and here is one in Cocoa from our friend Iman. If we use our Daiso mirror, that's oh so cute, right? It has a regular side and a magnifying side, right? If we flip to the magnifying side and use this liner, it's so cute because it has its own sharpener in its packaging, right? The new Makeup by Mario way to go is to overline the Cupid's bow, right? Just a little bit. Pop up, overline the Cupid's bow, right? It's supposed to be a lip lifting technique, right? Then color inside your lips. Bring the liner in, line the bottom, and bring the liner in. Line the bottom, in, from the top, in. Pucker your lips to check your symmetry. Maybe overline the bottom a little bit. So does that make your lips kind of jump forward and look a little bit bigger without them fading into your cheeks? Maybe. So from here, what lip color shall it be? You know, we certainly have these Milani lip colors. We have this toasted almond color from our friends at L'Oreal. Let's see if that blends well with this brown lip liner, right? It's a little bit pale, paler than our liner. You know, go marry it into the liner. That's pretty. Do we look pouty? Do we look cute? You know, lip color can be such a pretty adult enhancement without, you know, being some, you know, crazy looking. You don't want to go crazy, you know. You can add any leftover product on your cheeks. Maybe across the nose. Do we need a gloss with this? I don't think we do. But we can certainly go across our face with a powder and using our Japanese brush and the same e.l.f. corrective yellow, right? Looking at the color of our ear and our neck, right? We're still looking a little bit pale. Just dipping our brush into the cap and dusting a little bit of this yellow across the forehead, down the nose, under the eyes, Cupid's bow, chin, right? Just to lock that makeup in place and take out any shine. I think our eyes look enhanced and our lips look pretty and stylized in that way that Makeup by Mario says lifts them. I don't hate the natural shape of my lips, but I definitely think that this eyeshadow eyeliner technique gives us a beautiful sculpt to the eye. There's nothing wrong with our eye shape, but it's just that saturated color at the lash line, on top of contour, on top of using different products that gives you drama, right? That gives you a little bit more of an enhanced look. Here's this Essence eyebrow designer, right? Can use this to brush our brows up. Use this to brush our brows up, right? Any stray product from our nose contour, we can brush that in so that the structure flows from the brow, down the nose, under the nose, to the cheeks, etc. Right? We seem to have a little bit of a gap here at the start of our right brow. So brushing up, and then we can get into a little of this NYX brow glue. I've never used it before. It has a tiny little spoolie, right? So you can use it just to brush through the brow and hold them in place. I'd been using this e.l.f. wax pencil that I like very much, but who's to say this product isn't better, right? A lot of people brush their brows straight up. You kind of want it at an angle so that you get all of your hairs participating in giving you a strong, modern brow. No pencil brow. This isn't the 90s, but you want your hairs lifted and all present and accounted for. So the promise of this product is that it's a glue, instant brow styler. You know, I see a lot of people laminating their brows. Is that too much? You know, is it just, you know, you need something on the day. You don't need your brows to live that way. I don't know. You know, I think makeup has enough chemicals in it. You don't maybe need to like pour all sorts of chemicals in your eyeballs, and you want to look cute. You don't want to harm yourself or have yourself absorb a lot of contaminants from all these products. You want to look lifted, you want to look cute, you want to look cute, clean, classy. Like you know how to do makeup, but you haven't gone crazy and you're not in disguise. So, this is Tanya from House of Tanya. Thank you so much for joining me for my midweek makeup experiments. I have to get on to the gym and get on to work tomorrow. But I think we did something of value here, right? Eyes looking right, shimmer in the inner corner, lifted brow, lifted cheeks, pouty lips, glossy. You know, I might prefer even a little bit less saturation, right? A little bit less opaque product on the lip. And I also might prefer that this NYX concealer serum that I used, I might need a darker color, either to use with this color, light, or in place of. So I look forward to seeing you on further experiments. You know, I would love to see, you know, what you're doing with your makeup, where you are, and, you know, making it suit whatever your profession is and, you know, whatever you're doing on the day, to get rid of shine, to enhance your bone structure, to give you a stronger jawline, to look dramatic, even if you're just dropping off the kids at school or, you know, running errands, post office, bank, etc. I hope you're staying COVID safe and that you are thinking about your inner and outer beauty. And I will, you know, be tuning in to a lot of your lives and a lot of your channels here on YouTube and on different social media across the board. I wish you the best. I wish you warmth and safety and health and love as we get through these ending months of 2021. And, you know, I look forward to your comments and feedback. I look forward to experimenting at these new amazing professional makeup stores that I now have access to. And hopefully, if I can get my hands on the palettes that the professional makeup artist recommended to me, that I'll be able to show you, you know, kind of like what she did and how cool and subtle and seamless it looked. Because I think that's what we all want. We want a natural, enhanced, beautiful look that doesn't go off the rails or look like makeup on our faces, but looks like us, but better. Looks very true to our coloration, to our bone structure, but doesn't um, wear us in a sense. So this is me signing off so I can go work out. I look forward to our next episode of Camera Ready. I encourage you to experiment with it, you know, switch it up and own it. All right, see you soon. Bye.